Nancy Guthrie was taken from her Tucson home in February of 2026. The Catalina foothills are vast and set back from the road, making the neighborhood a labyrinth of desert brush and total darkness after sunset. Responding officers found a trail of blood droplets on the front porch. The physical evidence suggested a struggle or an injury sustained as Nancy was being moved in the early morning hours. The home's Nest security camera had been ripped from its mount, but the system captured a final image before it went dark. A man in a ski mask, later known as Porch Guy, staring directly into the lens. With blood on the concrete and a face on camera, the case looked like a standard local kidnapping. Then the digital demands arrived. Within days, anonymous messages began appearing on the tip lines of local news stations. They were sent through encrypted web swarms, bypassing traditional contact methods. The notes demanded $4 million by a strict Thursday deadline, rising to $6 million by Monday. The captors insisted the entire sum be deposited into a specific Bitcoin wallet. The text specifically requested the money in USD. While a local criminal might simply ask for dollars, the use of the three-letter currency code pointed toward a foreign author using international banking terminology. The investigation stalled. Authorities chased physical suspects in Arizona while tracing encrypted international communications. 6 months later, there have been no arrests. This case is a textbook example of a wrench attack. In cybersecurity, this is when criminals use physical violence to force a target to hand over digital keys or crypto assets. As high-net-worth targets harden their own digital and personal security, attackers are shifting toward their family members, the softest point of entry for extortion. Savannah Guthrie is a national news anchor with a highly visible public profile. In the months before the abduction, she had filmed segments in Tucson showcasing her close relationship with her mother, Nancy, inadvertently identifying her as a point of high leverage. Nancy Guthrie's physical vulnerability provided the kidnappers with a direct line of extortion against a wealthy, high-profile target. Investigator Lisa Miller suggests the abduction was a two-tiered operation designed to isolate the planners from the physical act. The first tier is the mastermind. This entity manages encryption, ransom notes, and Bitcoin wallets remotely. Below them is the operative, or Porch Guy, the local muscle handling the physical abduction. They risk leaving physical evidence while the mastermind stays digitally invisible. This division of labor keeps the brain of the operation out of reach. Even if the local operative is caught, the mastermind remains protected by layers of digital anonymity. The mastermind's plan hit a real-world obstacle they couldn't control. Nancy Guthrie had a pacemaker and a severe heart condition that made any physical stress life-threatening. Shortly after she was taken, her pacemaker signal stopped. The captors sent a final message claiming she had passed away and was buried in nature before cutting all communication. This left the local operative with no further instructions and no ransom. They were left with the physical remains and the desperate task of vanishing completely before the police closed in. This created a double blind. The mastermind knows the digital plan, but not the location of the body, while the local operative knows where Nancy is, but lacks any verifiable connection to the person who hired them. The hybrid nature of the crime exposed deep flaws in how law enforcement coordinates. Local police at the Pima County Sheriff's Department handled the physical scene, but with immediate setbacks. The Sheriff's Department released the crime scene to the public within days. Reporters were allowed to walk right up to the porch where the blood was found, potentially contaminating critical DNA evidence. At the federal level, the FBI struggled to track the digital footprint. The mastermind used encrypted servers and shifted IP addresses, keeping the origin of the ransom notes out of federal reach. Law enforcement agencies spent weeks debating lab jurisdictions rather than merging their data. Our current systems remain too siloed to effectively track criminals who move seamlessly between physical and digital worlds. The 6-month stalemate in the Guthrie case serves as a working model for future criminal enterprises. As digital assets become harder to steal through code alone, attackers are turning to the one target you cannot secure with a password: the physical safety of a loved one. Until the gap between local patrol tactics and global cyber forensics is bridged, families caught in these hybrid crimes will continue to face a terrifying void.